Sloan.
I'd just like to thank the sponsors, Boston Home Decorating, Flag Marshals, Lab Scorers and Bowerade for supporting me.
This poor father gave him a name of Sloan we won't talk about now. And we move to number 2, and certainly from the onslaught yesterday, this looked to be the rider that was going to steal the hearts of the fans for 8 to 11 years racing, but as a form of compensation, the second place is certainly a top effort when we take him from his mini motocross era through now to junior motocross, and in his second nationals already putting his name as number 2 in New Zealand. A superb effort from Cody Cooper.
I'd like to thank my sponsors, Mum and Dad, and my mechanic, Derek Collins, and Lisa and for the competition, and all our riders.
Well, we certainly had to put our thinking caps on for this one, and I'll say it as only a provisional statement because I could be proved wrong, but certainly we've seen it in the past racing with some of the older classes, but back in 8 to 11 years racing, something that's been taken for the first time ever in my recollection, a rider to have won the title more than twice within the same 8 to 11 years class. A superb effort. 31 last year, he'll save some money on 50-cent stickers, no change for number 31 in 1993. A superb ride from Reece Sutherland.
I'd like to thank my dad and my mum for bringing me here, my grandfather for supporting me, Bike Talk Kawasaki and Russell for the support, and the St John's and the lap scores. Thanks.
A brilliant day, and from the fourth to the north, the true champion, Joel Hanson.
I'd like to thank the club for bringing on good meetings, Dave for the support, and Midnight Racing, Boys Real Estate, and Hampton Supples.
And well, the mainlanders picking up some of those big stakes as well, and from the area we were looking forward to being in 1994 for the Junior Nationals, a rider that certainly in the last couple of races yesterday really showed us some class riding. I believe showing the purpose of being part of a few rounds of the Summer Series and also the North Island Champs back in January, and to have come back again and shown us how much he's even improved in that short time. What a brilliant ride. From the mainland, our runner-up for the Championship Stakes, Nathan McAwee.
To start off with, I'd like to thank Mum and Dad for paying the way, my brother for getting my bikes prepared for this meeting, Neil for commentating, and the Put Club for running a good meeting, and my sponsors, Coral Beach Honda, Cook Allison for supplying Agile and NGK smartphones. Thanks.
And we move to the number 1, and well, I suppose this rider not being too far away from my home turf is one that I've seen in action recently, and to see the improvement in a short length of time for this rider, just being in the middle of the field to jumping to the front of it, and when you see the all of the support that goes in behind him, all of the true heart racing that goes in behind him, and it proves you don't have to have the biggest budget nor the best bike. When you're a champion, you're a true winner, because our new champion, and never before to feature in the top 3 of any championship in New Zealand, deservedly number 1, Corey Sargent.
I'd like to thank my dad for bringing me, my sponsor Langley Motorcycles, Schofields for letting us stay at their place, Neil for commentating, and Nathan for the competition. Thanks.
Don't go away, Nathan. One that we forgot to do before, 12 and 13 years class, is the tyre voucher. And for Corey, the opportunity for 2 tyres the size of your bike, courtesy of Yokohama. 2 brand new tyres, well done. From top 3 honours and 12 and 13 years racing last year, and already now in the big league, as he takes on another leap forward with Mosgiel next year. Look out for him as he keeps flying to number 15 in New Zealand, Jeffrey Caulfield.
I'm Dad for bringing me, help putting on the meeting, Zach, left scorers, the flag marshals, and everyone else.
Thanks indeed, Jeff. Well, another rider that had a number on his bike applicable to his 12 and 13 years racing class. Now he's moved up, only his first year in it. He was proved to be in the top 10 last time. And instead of just equaling that when he's changed up to the bigger and more experienced riders, he indeed has halved his number. So from 28 to 14, if he keeps the calculation going, he'll be the champion next year. What about it from Mangakino, Jason Satchell?
I'd just like to thank my mum and dad for bringing me and Cable Motorcycles.
Well, it was a privilege from Bell Ray to receive the support for this meeting, and also in fact the support for the riders. One in particular next up on our accolades is their sponsored rider, and an opportunity to just show his credentials. And those credentials, in fact, since 1989, nothing worse than a 3rd placing in a New Zealand Championship, and there's been 3rds and 2nds galore, and still to his finale couldn't quite get the number 1, and perhaps I know a lot of people have talked about it as commiserations, but we know a great champion. He's been a superb sportsman in the game, and let's hope for many more years to come. But for junior racing, one to salute as a true hero of the support and a great champion, number 3 in New Zealand, Andrew Hardesty.
I'd especially like to thank my main sponsor, Barrow Oil. You really got to try it, it's awesome stuff. And O'Neill Racewear. Also Norm Cobb from Supercross Cycles for helping me with my bike over the weekend. And Water Energy Centre, Keppel Auto Cycles and Unlimited Signs. And the Pukekohe Motorcycle Club for an excellent day's racing. I'd also like to thank Johnny Smith for helping me with my bike. Thanks.
He too, having saved on stickers, taking the same number from last year. So we go to our top 2. We look up to the beautiful trophies, and Brad can hold them for that short length of time because he was never that good to hold them permanently. And he's at the other end of the table, and I can run faster. So to our 2nd place for the Nationals this year, and as we're about to acknowledge our visitor to take on the number 1, we can really perhaps call him our top Kiwi rider. And I know a rider that too has also taken on a change of class and already throws away 22 and puts on number 12 in Mosgiel for 1994. Here we come, because look out folks, he is getting slightly bigger, but he's still great at heart. He's a brilliant champion. He's Nicky Irwin.
Well, first of all, it was a bit of a shame about the weather, and second of all, it was good that an Australian came across. And I thought I would initiate him to New Zealand racing with a block pass in the corner, but he initiated me to Aussie racing with another block pass in another corner. And I learned a few things. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Crosby Motorcycles, for all the support over the years. And Valvoline Motor Oils, well, they couldn't sponsor the meeting, but they sponsored me, which is good enough. And Gold's Gym Tauranga, because I'm not that big and I need all the help I can get. Fulton Davies for my arrow helmet, that was really good of them, and Split by Spark Plugs for the spark plugs, that was really good of them too. Thanks a lot.
Good. Although 14 years of age now, back in September last year I had the privilege of being part of the New Zealand support team to the Motocross to Nations, the World Teams Champion of Motocross, which of course had senior support racing as well as our top three, the King brothers and Daryl Atkins, to represent New Zealand. Support racing from two seniors, Mitch Rowe and Brendan Tootle. Three juniors made the trip over there as well. Joshua Coppins, a junior at the time, Andrew Hardesty, who you've seen, and so too now for Nicky. And of course Josh Coppins blew them away and did show the Aussies. No offence to Daryl, Danny and the team, but yes, we could have a Kiwi winning in Australia. It was a brilliant performance. But Andrew came home as the first 14-year-old, and if my memory serves me right, around 4th or 5th place overall. And at that stage, Nicky had only 13 years of age in that open class where they all were, because they were 12 through to 15 years. He too was around 6th or 7th overall, and a top effort for him to be first in his age group home as well. So hey, look out, we're seeing it this current weekend with a superb ride from Daryl King, as he has been in other rounds, and look out everybody, keep pushing him. We've got future world champions, and these guys too are world beaters. And of course, as Nicky acknowledged, we had to get one to come from our West Island to beat us all, but when we heard of his credentials and we saw what he was capable of right from the drop of the gate to start with, we certainly knew we had a visiting champion with us. And as the top sports and motocross in New Zealand as we are, we know we like to acknowledge a true champion, and a true champion indeed, all the way from Australia, Danny Ham.
Thanks a lot. I hope you can understand my English, I can't understand yours. Seriously, I'd like to thank a few of the sponsors that made it possible for me to come over. Matthew Hazelton, he's done a lot of work with organising stuff. Murray Thorne from the South Island, I don't know the name, I can't pronounce any of them. He's provided bikes, very good, it was very well all weekend. Sorry to Nicky that I had to take you out, but that's Australian racing. A couple of my sponsors, Scott, BFE Helmets, Fox, Maxima Oils.
IRC, gee, you're hopeless.
Give me dad for giving me that sort of stuff all weekend. And that club that put the meeting on. And everyone else that supported me, and thanks for your hospitality. Thanks, Bob.
And let's hope you can fit it in your bag and take it home. Good on you. Bit of kiwi rubber there. Time, because for those of you that are not involved in the hierarchy of a club and don't know the countback system, it works on many, I wouldn't call them weird and wonderful formulas, but there are a number of formulas. But this one is the unbeatable formula, because no matter which way you put it together, when two riders get 2 seconds and 2/3 out of 4 races, they're on equal points, and with every other system used, there's no way you can beat the system where it comes down to the last race of the last day of championships. So perhaps really we should get the 2 trophies, glue them together and saw them in half. Might be the best remedy, because we could call them both runner-ups. But the one, unfortunately for him, and more fortunate for the one to take 2nd place, our 3rd in New Zealand, and he too with a 43 on his bike can throw the 4 away, because for the years that I've watched him racing back to Southern Cross days, truly a champion and truly a great rider. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hawera, Mark Bailey.
I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Crowbow Motorwreckers, Livings Motorcycles, O'Neill Racewear, Rockwell Racing, Izumi Chain, NGK Spark Plugs and Sign Styles. Special thanks to G for all the money he's put into the sponsorship for the meeting. Thanks to the club for running the meeting, and Neil for commentating, anyone else that's helped, and Robert Taylor for my tuning. Thanks a lot.
Superb speech, Mark, and of course Mark unfortunately out of contention from last year's champ, so great to see that he'll have a number deserved of his calibre in New Zealand. And we move to that runner-up spot, the points tie we were talking about so much, and also locked on the famous score of 64 points, but deservedly our runner-up. And when I saw, in fact, at Whakatane Christmas last year, not this one just gone, but the previous year, when he came away with a win in the 85cc class, when we'd seen riding before that in around 5th and 6th places, we knew we had a champion in the making, and he's undoubtedly proved it this weekend. What a superb effort, Philip Clayton.
I'd just like to thank my brother for bringing me, Mum, Jason, the Willett Sonda, sponsors, and White Tape Contract meeting, and Neil Ritchie for doing a great job commentating. My sponsors, PJ1 Oils, Scott Goggles, Joe Karma Tyres, NGK Spark Plugs, Joe Karma Tyres.
Weekend. We've never been over here before. Danny was a bit nervous when he came up here to say a few things before, and he wanted to say a few more things. So before I give it to him, bad luck to Andrew. I thought he really deserved it. He really did. As far as we saw it, you're the champion. And Nicky, boy, he didn't learn that over there the way he said it. Craig Anderson taught him all that the hard way, unfortunately. And we don't like that sort of riding. We don't want to see it happen. But boy, it started off pretty hot. You guys have got some hot competition over here. You are as good and better than a lot of the guys over there. Make the trip. It's worthwhile. I'll give it to Danny for a sec.
A couple of things I forgot to say was bad luck to Andrew again. My mum's work for giving us money